Hey Cappies, it's Ryan with Erosoflove. Welcome back to my channel. I've taken an extended hiatus over the last several months due to work. And I also just got back from a 10-day vacation, so I'm nice and rested, and it's good to be back on YouTube. I haven't done a Capricorn video in a while, and as you guys all know, I'm a Capricorn, so got to talk about you guys and what's going on, because we have some big stuff happening with Capricorn at the end of the year, and we're headed into eclipse season. Right now we're going through kind of a difficult square in the sky with Saturn, your ruling planet, our ruling planet, and Mars. So let's jump into it. This is for mid-November, Cappy, so keep that in mind. And I'm going to go basically kind of through some of December too, because there's some energy that we got to talk about. So today, it is November 10th. Mars, the planet of action, pioneering qualities. It's the initial spark, the flame, it's the warrior, it's virility, it's the archetypal male, it's the divine masculine, is in its home sign of Scorpio. And today it is making a tense square over to taskmaster Saturn, which of course is the ruler of Capricorn and Aquarius. And it's right now Saturn sitting in Aquarius. So the two are making a 90-degree angle, and a square is the nature of Mars. So it's action oriented. And sometimes the action that comes about is produced by some tense interactions with people, events, things, places, whatever it might be. So for you, Capricorn, Scorpio is your 11th house. It is 11 signs past Capricorn. And the 11th house is a fortunate house. It is a house of gains from all of the work and your achievement. You are the 10th house after all. This is where the culmination of events, where you get all the good stuff from all the work that you've done. So the 11th house has to do with gains, financial gains. It has to do with friends, group associations, organizations that you're a part of, people that you identify with. It's your tribe, it's your people. The 11th house also has to do with the future, the collective. It has a broader meaning to it, to help people. It's a visionary type house. So, think of your Aquarius friends. They're a little bit quirky. It's very much kind of weirdos, to be quite honest. But it's in Scorpio. So, there's some intensity always with Scorpio. There could be some power struggles here too. Scorpio they love their power. But I always tell you this, Capricorn, because I know Capricorns and Scorpios tend to attract each other. I have a lot of Scorpios in my life. But I always tell my Capricorns this, sneaky little Scorpio thinks they're real clever, but Capricorn, you always know what's going on, and you know what's going on underneath the surface, and you know how to deal with Scorpio. So you have right now the planet of Mars, action, vitality, pioneering, something's going on with friends, group associations, organizations, potentially finances as well. But it's hitting something, it's getting a hard no from Saturn. Saturn is the taskmaster, Saturn is boundaries, it's insiders and outsiders, it is discipline, perseverance, achievement, long-term goals, it's the long haul. And Saturn right now is basically saying no. Saturn's in your second house of an Aquarius. Aquarius is 2 signs past Capricorn. And the second house has to do with money, your money, value, what it is you value. So when you see the 11th house and the second house activated here, you could be looking at friend groups. You could be looking at your friendships, who you align yourself with, potentially finances as well, because there's this element of finance here. And Mars rules your 4th house of home and family. That's Aries. And Mars also rules Scorpio, which is friends and family, friends, group association. So there could be a combination of things coming up with finances, money, and family. It could be any one of the two and with you, because Saturn also rules Capricorn. So watch out for that. That is perfecting today. Mars is a slower moving planet. Saturn creeps along our zodiac, so this is going to last for the next couple of days as Mars separates from this particular square. But Mercury, the planet of communication, what's on your mind, it's also business savvy, is also aligned with Mars and the Moon, which is emotion. Moon rules your 7th house of one-on-one relationships and and marriages. Rules Cancer, the exact opposite sign of Capricorn, is also aligned with Saturn. So you have 4 planets. You have Saturn and the Moon aligned in Aquarius, and then you have Mars and Mercury aligned in Scorpio, and they're making this tense aspect. So you got to really be careful of the tongue. You got to be careful of friends. You might be reviewing friendships. You might hear from a friend that you haven't heard from a while either. That could very well come up. Maybe there's some money issues coming up with family even. These are just different archetypal combinations that could potentially come up with this square, but I think mostly it might be you taking a close look at your group associations and friends and deciding, what aligns with you these days. Do they align with your values? So look for that over the next few days. We also have a lunar eclipse coming in November 19th in the sign of Taurus. Taurus is a fellow earth sign that is making a trining aspect that's a 120-degree angle for going whole sign houses. And that's going to happen right around the 27th degree of Taurus. That's where the moon is. The moon is exalted in Taurus. And the moon is your ruler of relationships, marriage, sexuality, friendships even. And it's going to be in the 5th house. So Taurus is your 5th house. It's 5 signs past Capricorn, and the 5th house is the house of joy. It's a very romantic, pleasurable house. It's the house of entertainment. So, maybe you meet someone new if you're single, and it could be extremely enjoyable, pleasurable time over the next 6 months. Because the moon is exalted in Taurus, and the moon rules your 7th house of relationships. So there could be something really great coming here. But remember that eclipses always mark big endings and big beginnings. It's culmination of events. It's closure, it's completion. And remember that we're dealing with the luminaries here too. So when we have a lunar eclipse, that means the sun and the moon are in opposite signs. They're opposing each other. It's basically a full moon on steroids. So it could be big things coming out about romance, children even. 5th house rules children. It's about joy. What brings you joy? So maybe you're just reviewing those particular themes right now. And it's something's coming about. Some information is going to be revealed during that particular time. 2 weeks later is going to be a solar eclipse in Sagittarius on December 4th. And this is going to be the last one in Sagittarius for the next 9 years or so, or 8 years, whatever it is. So because the nodes of the moon are going to be moving into the Taurus Scorpio axis. We just went through a round of eclipses on the Gemini Sagittarius axis. So things will be changing significantly over the next couple of about a year and a half or so. But the solar eclipse in Sagittarius is essentially a new moon, and it's going to be on the south node. That's where the south node is currently located. And astrologers always talk about the south node as things from the past. It's a little bit otherworldly. In Vedic astrology, or ancient astrology, it's known as Ketu and Rahu. It's essentially a dragon that was cut in half. And the head of the dragon was drinking the nectar of the immortals. There's a longing with Rahu, the head of the dragon, and that's the north node. The south node is kind of about the past. It's known to lessen the effects of malefic planets and lessen the effects of benefic planets if there's anything in your natal chart that's near it. So you're going to want to take a look at your chart, and if you have any planets around 12 degrees Sagittarius or 12 degrees in any other sign for that matter, there's going to be some aspects being made. And this is going to affect you the most with this particular solar eclipse. It's the blocking of the light. Things aren't seen. And it takes about 6 months or so for eclipse energy to really come to full fruition, as I'm like spinning around my words today. But Sagittarius is your 12th house. It's the sign right before you, Capricorn. The 12th house is a hidden house. It is confinement, it's isolation, it's research, it's digging deep. Kind of reminds me of the Hermit card in a way, going into the cave, doing some soul searching. And we've gone through this particular eclipse in Sagittarius now for over a year. So you're pretty used to this particular energy. It's wrapping up things. It's just a matter of closing out hidden matters, things lurking underneath the surface. it's things unseen for the most part. In Vedic astrology, the 12th house has a lot to do with intimacy. So intimacy matters might be up for review, maybe intimate partners, anything to that effect could come up right around that December 4th. And remember where the lunar eclipse occurred just 2 weeks before. It's in that 5th house of joy. So, sometimes we can see breakups, divorces. Other times we can see people coming together. You could meet someone new during this time. But I think for the most part for you, Capricorn, it's going to be a winding down and figuring out what's really lurking underneath the surface and going into the subconscious and deciding where are there blockages that are hindering you and having to really dig deep, essentially. And remember that the solar eclipse is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sag, and Sag is sitting in your second house of income. So there's also this element of money here. So it could be unexpected expenses, hidden expenses coming up. Could be from children because the lunar eclipse is in that 5th house. So, maybe something happens to a child and they're coming to you for money and you didn't see this coming and, yada, yada, yada. You get where this is coming from. So keep that in mind. But, as Jupiter and Saturn move through that second house, I know for me, at least I've had a lot of unexpected expenses come up. I had that car accident, that fender bender. I had to replace my fridge this year. I've had a whole bunch of, expenses come up because Saturn's sitting in that second house of income, and so is Jupiter. But Jupiter provides protection. So I was smart enough to have, a cushion, and I was able to absorb those costs without it really affecting me. But if you don't have it, that's Saturn teaching you a lesson that you need that cushion. So there could be this big drive right now for you, Capricorn, to really push ahead with finances. And being secure financially. And then once Saturn starts moving to those second decan, it's 15 degrees to 29 degrees, that's when you're going to start seeing your income just go through the roof. I did get a pretty big raise a few weeks ago. So, and I'm Capricorn sun, and I've been working hard over the last couple of years. So if you've been doing the work, you're going to start seeing the rewards. That's what Saturn does. But you have to be disciplined, persevering, go for the long term, not the short term. And that's you, Capricorn. That's what you do anyway. So those are the general energies right now. Got the square, Mars, Mercury squaring the moon, Saturn, second house, 11th house. I think friends are coming up here. Got the lunar eclipse in your 5th house of joy, children, fun and games, entertainment, sports even. So, be careful of working out, make sure you're stretching. There could be sports injuries with this particular lunar eclipse. That's on the 19th November. And then we have the solar eclipse in your 12th house in Sagittarius. And again, it has a lot to do with isolation, confinement, research, hidden matters, and intimacy. So keep an eye out for those themes, Capricorn. All right. Oh, I forgot the most important part. Venus, the planet of love, is gracing our sign. And Venus does well in Capricorn. There's a strange connection between Venus and Saturn. If you know mythology, Saturn cut off Uranus's genitals. This is when Saturn was overtaking Uranus, and genitals basically fell into the sea, and from the sea, the foam, the wave foam, you get where I'm going with this, sprang Venus, right? And you can think of the famous painting of Venus in the shell. So Saturn and Venus have a interesting relationship because without Saturn, there won't be Venus. And so Venus in Capricorn has a lot to do with commitment, has a lot to do with marriage, going the distance, being serious in love, making sure you're aligned with your values. Has a lot to do with insiders and outsiders and boundaries. And Venus is going to be gracing our sign for 4 months because it's going to be retrograding in Capricorn toward the end of December. So we have an extended state here. And in your first house, this has a lot to do with the body. This has a lot to do with your self-presentation, your identity. It has a lot to do with relationships too. Venus rules your 5th house of Taurus and your 10th house of careers, Libra. So again, the house of joy, the house of entertainment, the house of career. So something could be coming up here with any of these themes for you as it retrogrades through our sign. So look out for those particular themes right now, Capricorn. It's that energy is going to be growing slowly but surely. I wouldn't be getting into a new relationship during this time. You could hear from ex-lovers, ex-partners. They always come back, especially when it's in your sign, Capricorn. So 9 times out of 10, past love doesn't work out. They're looking for some type of closure. Or they're taking a break from the person that they're seeing, and then Venus starts moving forward again after its retrograde cycle, and they go back. So just be careful. It's not a time to be necessarily getting into a new relationship. If you're in a relationship right now, you could be reviewing the terms and the foundation of that relationship. So I want you to be aware of that. That's the energy that's coming up. Not going to be easy. My Venus is at 28 degrees, and so is my Sun. They're conjoined by 11 minutes, and that's at 28 degrees. Venus is going to go, I think, almost to Aquarius, and it's going to retrograde back. So Venus is going to hit my Sun and my Venus 3 times. Here we go. So look at me. We're going to see how this all plays out. It's not always bad stuff, but it's always a review of something. Something comes back. Something needs adjustment. Something needs realignment. Just be aware of that. That's what you can expect. All right, Capricorn, so that's the astrology. Let's get into your reading. I spent a little bit more time on that because there's a lot happening. As always, these are general readings. Messages won't resonate with all of you. Be sure to take a look at your ascendant or rising sign, your moon, and Venus. If it's not Capricorn, sometimes those messages will resonate more with you depending on what's happening in your natal chart. And as always, if you like these videos and would like to see more of them, please click the like button and subscribe. It helps the channel, and it's very much appreciated for me. And you get to see more of me. And I'm going to be back on YouTube a little bit more now that I'm slowing down. I'm in Minnesota, so it's fall. It's starting to get cold outside. I'm going to be inside more. We had a really beautiful autumn here, so I spent a lot of time outside with the dog. Casey's sleeping right now, so actually he's listening to me. He wants his reading too. Casey's a Sagittarius, and I'm going to do the Sagittarius reading next. So let's see if there's anything else I want to mention here. Yeah, that Venus retrograde. Wish I had more advice. I'm gonna just tell you, people come back during this time, and it's in your sign. So you very well could be looking at old relationships. But like I said, it's reconciliation is kind of it's more about finding closure if people come back. But Venus also rules aesthetics, comfort, security, money. So there could be unexpected expenses that come up. You could be looking at doing an overhaul of your wardrobe, your appearance. When Venus is retrograde, I would not be doing any cosmetic surgery. I would not necessarily be spending a ton of money on things, because you could regret that. Big purchases. It's not really a time to be doing that, especially anything with the body. Elective surgery, wouldn't be doing it. Not until Venus is through its retrograde phase. So, and Venus only retrogrades once every year and a half. So these tend to be pretty potent. And I want you to be aware of that, Capricorn. So, because last year was difficult for you. You had Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, all in your sign. And pandemic happened. And I know 2020 was a real difficult year for me, and it was transformative in many ways, and we got through it, but we're not quite through it yet. And Pluto's still in the mix with this Venus retrograde, so we're gonna see. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about the Tarot. I'm gonna give the angels one shuffle here. 6 cards from the Tarot. It's gonna be a modified Celtic cross. 1 card from the angels for the general energy of your reading. All right, Capricorn, let's see what's going on. From the angels. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Okay. So if things are rocky right now, if you're doing a review, universe is saying pause. Don't make any rash moves. I just said that with this Mars-Saturn square happening right now. It's not a time to be pushing plans forward because Saturn's going to give you basically a hell no. It's not going to happen. Saturn's dignified in Aquarius, Mars is dignified in Scorpio. The two malefics are both dignified. Saturn's the slower moving planet, it's more powerful. It's going to tell Mars, go take a hike, pound sand. So give your relationship a chance. Don't make any rash action. You tend to be pretty methodical and sometimes calculating, even I can be too. So let's see what this is all about. General energies from the tarot. The Star. This is the Aquarius card. Just talked about Aquarius, right? Saturn, Jupiter. Page of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles. Chariot. Five of Swords. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, so you got a lot of Pentacles here. You got this two major arcana, the Star, the Chariot. You got Aquarius energy, and you have Cancer energy. So let's talk about this. Give your relationship a chance. So, okay, let's talk about the Star. The Star is your hopes, wishes, and dreams. The Star is what you idolize, what it is you go for. It's the future. So you're looking to your future. You're looking at the second house. This could be money, finance related as well, because we have a lot of pentacles here. But the Star is very much about going for what it is you want. Wish fulfillment, long-term goals coming true. I love the Star card. It's one of the best cards in the deck, in my opinion. And this is Ganymede. Ganymede is the water bearer. And if you know the story of Ganymede in mythology, Zeus, Ganymede's this very attractive male, and Zeus covets him. So do the other gods. Zeus swept him away, transformed into an eagle and took him into Mount Olympus, where Ganymede eventually becomes the water bearer for the gods. So he's half god. He's kind of like a demigod. So you can see him pouring the water. He's got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the land. It's indicative of spirituality, being here in the physical, but also having this visionary quality. It's a little psychic. So if you're having visions of your future, Capricorn, because you're psychic too, one of the last signs of the zodiac, those are the most intuitive, you need to pay attention to that. Or maybe you need to realign here, and you need to really think about what your long-term goals are, because you have wish fulfillment coming up here. The Star is a great card. So I'm very excited for you, and it could very well be about money. And we talked about this, right? Second house, that's where Saturn's sitting right now. That has a lot to do with your finances. That has a lot to do with the cash you earn from the business you own, the money you make from the business you work for. So here it is. So some of you maybe get a promotion. Some of you might get a bonus, maybe an unexpected windfall. This could also be, on the flip side, an unexpected expense. A child coming to ask for money because they messed something up. A friend coming to ask for a loan because they need it for whatever reason. So here, the Star and the Pentacles, it's messages of value, talking about value, what it is you value. You could be having this conversation with your partner right now. Long-term goals, what it is you value. Are you two aligned right now? And I think right now there's some conflicting energy, and that's why the universe is saying give it a chance, because I want to caution you, Capricorn, because you can be a little ice king, ice queen sometimes. And we have the miser of the deck here, the Four of Pentacles, and you can see he's holding the pentacle close to his heart, and he's standing tightly on his money. He doesn't want to give it up. Doesn't want to give up his value, knows his boundaries, insiders and outsiders. These are very Sagittarian themes coming out. But he's got a closed heart. So it could be here, some of you need to open up a little bit. You need to open up your heart chakra. Perhaps some of you have been hurt. Going through some power struggles perhaps with that Mars Saturn energy, and you're not really willing to part with anything in your bank account. We all know how you feel about spending money, Cap, although you do like nice things. So give it a chance. I need to open up that heart chakra a little bit here. Maybe someone's being a little stingy with feelings, not showing their feelings, keeping things hidden. That 12th house, that Sagittarius solar eclipse is going to happen. It's hidden things. So maybe you're just not willing to reveal things right now. You want to see how things play out. Now, what I do like about this is that We have the Cancer card, we have the Chariot. The Chariot's always a new direction. So perhaps you get some news and this sets you on a new direction. It could be a victory too. It could be a great victory. And you might be a little bit reluctant to head down this new path. Capricorn, sometimes you don't make changes unless you absolutely have to. But in this case, I think this would be a huge benefit to you. There's going to be something here that could really set you on a path that you've been wanting, but you might need to take a chance. You might need to open up your heart. You might need to just let it happen naturally and not try to control things. And again, this is the Cancer card. That is your 7th house of marriage, one-on-one relationships, friendships, sexuality. So you need to take a close look at that here. Maybe there's some finances that need to be worked out between you two. If you're buying a house, you're looking to move in together, make a big purchase. Maybe there's some debts that need to be satisfied here, and you're kind of like, something here that needs to be looked at. But it is a new path. Now, the next card, we have the 5 of Swords. So if there's been tension around this particular topic, I'm going to caution you to be careful with your words. Capricorn, you can be cutting. You can be very cold with your words when you are pissed off. And you need to be very careful here because words, you can be, like I said, you can be very cutting. And the 5 of Swords is a warning. You might win the battle, but it's a hollow victory. And you see, the guy's enemies are walking away, swords on the ground, and the other two is kind of looking back with this very cheeky look on his face and thinking he won the battle, but at what price? So, is it worth the fight? Are you picking your battles wisely here? If there's a long-term goal with a partner that you're trying to make, you're trying to manifest or come to fruition, you got to compromise. You got to see both sides of the story. But it looks like someone just is not open. And it very well could be you. Maybe you got to work through some past issues, past pain, past sorrow, past hurts. But you got to put yourself out there, Capricorn, if you're single. And if you're in a partnership right now, be careful of your words. Careful. Now, what I like for the outcome overall is that we have the 9 of Pentacles, and this is abundance. So if you take things slow, you look at things methodically, you do your Capricorn thing, you look at every angle, you analyze, calculate, all of those things, you come to abundance. You can count your money in your garden. She's got the bird perched on her hand here. She's doing pretty well, right? And she's got I'm just looking at this card. It's a very happy card. Nines are great cards, especially the 9 of Pentacles. So I think you just have to open up your heart, look at your long-term goals, have this communication, give your partner a chance. There is a victory to be had. There's a new path. You guys need to figure out this new path. And if you can do this in a way where you don't hurt people, or not walking away, you get the victory, get the abundance. All that glitters is gold, right? Because after the 9 is the 10, and the 10 is riches, and happy house, happy family, all of the nice things, right? And that's what Capricorn wants, right? So you got to look at that very, very carefully. But like I said, with these full, the eclipses coming up, joy, what brings you joy, you're going to have to review this over the next 6 months. Hidden feelings, subconscious feelings that are buried underneath the surface. If there's anything dealing with finance, you're going to have to address it. Saturn in that 2nd house is going to force you to look at finances, and there could be some restriction and some delay. But like I said, once Saturn starts moving forward again, which it is now, it's done with this retrograde cycle, it's going to start cruising through Aquarius, and that's when Capricorn is going to start to see that bank account just go up and up and up if you've been doing that work. But you got to open your heart. Can't be too stingy with your money, and you got to find that path. You got to find the win-win here. 7th house, Cancer. It's gentle, It's comforting, it's caring. And you're good at that, Capricorn, but sometimes you can be a little cold. I'm going to pull one more card just to see. Yeah, King of Pentacles. This is the Taurus card. What brings you happiness? What brings you joy? If it doesn't bring you joy, it doesn't belong in your life. It's that simple. Hope you enjoyed this reading. Until next time, take care.